Hi everyone, I'm Helen Kelly, the author of the Green Grow series, and I'm going to read an extract from my new book, New Beginnings. I stood in Lacey's back garden, worrying about my fiancé Peter, the warm summer breeze dancing across my bare arms. I watched as the sun set and remarked that it was so warm I didn't even need a cardigan. Peter and I had been engaged for just over 6 months, but instead of being the life and soul of the party that he used to be, he no longer wanted to go out, and whenever I did, whether it was on my own or with him, he would just moan about it. First there was the community centre fundraising night, and now this. Tonight was a party to celebrate Lacey and my cousin James moving in together, and I found myself standing all alone with no fiancé by my side, because apparently he wasn't in the mood to meet up with our friends and to celebrate. Despite that, I was determined to have a nice time. It hadn't been that long since Lacey and I had become friends. Not that we were enemies before, but I had been stuck hanging around with Sarah. When we were younger, Sarah didn't like Lacey. That's putting it mildly, in fact. She made Lacey's life a misery, and even now I could see the effect it had had on Lacey's self-confidence. But since James and Lacey had got together, her confidence had begun improving. Wearing a huge smile and a lovely flowy dress, Lacey came up to me and said, "I'm so glad you came. It wouldn't be the same if you weren't here." Just at that moment, James appeared. He put his arms around Lacey's shoulders and kissed her on the head. After checking to make sure she was all right, he turned his attentions back to me. After giving me a kiss on the cheek, he said, "Hi, cousin. Where's Peter? Are you all right?" The love between the couple were bouncing off them, and in all honesty, I will admit to being a bit jealous. "Yes, I'm fine," he said. He said he wasn't feeling well. "Congratulations on moving in together. I know I've said it before, but the both of you make an amazing couple." Auntie May came up to join us. "Jane, darling, are you okay?" she asked while giving me the biggest hug you could imagine. I say aunt, but she's more like a mum to me. Since my mum, her sister, died. Even before Mum's death from cancer. When James and I were growing up, we used to separate our time between Mum's house and May's house. That allowed Mum to work, which she needed to do after she divorced my dad, and in some ways it gave Aunt May the daughter she had always wanted. After my mum and dad got divorced, I never heard from him again. He didn't even come to Mum's funeral. "I'm fine," I lied. "Now come on, Jane. I know you're not okay. Talk to me." James and Lacey made a strategic retreat so May and I could talk. I guess it's seeing Lacey and James together. I'm not sure Peter and I share the love we're supposed to. Peter is changed. He doesn't want to go anywhere as a couple. When I try to talk to him about anything important, he just ignores me. Then he will go out with his friends. He's treating my house like a hotel. He won't talk to me, and honestly, it's making me miserable. "You need to talk to him, but first you need to decide what you want. Do you still want to marry him?" Aunt May replied. "Honestly, I don't know anymore, but you're right. I need to speak to him. I need this sorted out one way or the other. I can't keep going on like this. I feel like I'm at breaking point, and each day I feel that I am losing myself and what I want out of life." Aunt May gave me the hug that I'd been crying out for, and the reassurance that someone was there for me and that I wasn't alone. "Thanks, Aunt May. I'm going to go home and talk to him now. I'll find James and Lacey and let them know I'm off." With a new purpose, I gave my good wishes to the happy couple and arranged to meet up with Lacey on Wednesday evening. It didn't take long to get home. Unlocking the front door, I was suddenly hit with Guns N' Roses blaring out of the stereo. Then I noticed a trail of clothes that didn't belong to Peter, unless he'd started wearing a short skirt, see-through blouse and stockings. Following the trail of clothes to the bedroom, looking through the door that was ajar, I froze in horror. In my bed was my fiancé and Sarah, doing things that made me want to burn my mattress. I could hear them. "Oh, Sarah, that's amazing, baby. Yes, just like that. You're so much better than Jane. I'm slumming it with her. I need to get rid of her, and as soon as I find us a place to live, I will." In shock and trying to hold on to my temper, I flung the door open wide. "Sorry to bother you, But when you have quite finished, please get out and don't ever come back. The engagement is obviously off, so you better hurry up and find a place to live, because after tonight you're no longer welcome here." With that, I threw the engagement ring at him, which rolled onto the floor with a clang. "When I come back in the morning, I don't want to see you here, and I never want to see either of you again." I don't know how I did it, but after my little speech, I turned around before either of them could say anything, grabbed my handbag, and left the house. I refused to cry in front of them, but channeling my anger, I slammed the front door. As soon as I closed the door, I leaned against it and took a deep breath in the hopes that it would calm my shaking body. I could feel the anger zipping through my body. I was angry with myself because I had known things weren't right with our relationship, and I should have ended it before now, as it wasn't good for me. I was angry at Sarah, who until recently was supposed to be my friend, but I guess in Sarah's world I chose Lacey over her, so this is payback. She looked like the cat that had got the cream. Lastly, I was furious with Peter. After 10 years of being together, how could he do that to me? I knew that things had been different with him recently, and in all honesty, if he had decided he didn't want to be in a relationship with me anymore, I would have accepted that, especially with the way things were lately. I would have called it off any day anyway, if things hadn't changed, but to find him in bed with Sarah was just humiliating. It was as if she was laughing at me because she knew what an idiot I'd been to trust him, and I felt it. Although I was still shaking, I needed to get away from there and find somewhere to stay the night. I couldn't bear the thought of sleeping on that mattress, and hopefully the pub would have a room. I didn't really want to drive into town to the hotel. First things first, I needed to ring James to see if he knew if there were any rooms left in the pub. "Hi Jane, are you okay?" "Not really, no. Listen, I need a room for the night. Do you know if there are any in the pub for free?" "Why? What's wrong with your house?" I don't really want to talk about it, but when I walked in, Peter and Jane were sharing a moment or two in my bed. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Come back to ours. Most people have left. It's only Mum and Dad here now." "I'm not sure if I will be great company. I don't want to spoil your evening." "Don't be silly." "Oh, hang on. Lacey wants a word," James said as he handed Lacey the phone. "Jane, I don't know what's happened, but you'd better come here to your family. Otherwise, I will track you down." I don't even know how I had it in me to laugh at Lacey's words. "Okay, if you're sure." "I am, and we will have the wine open for when you arrive." With that, she put the phone down, leaving me with no choice. As soon as I got to their house, I realised that the party had indeed dispersed. It was lovely and quiet, and as I pushed the unlocked door open, as soon as I entered, I was enveloped in a cuddle, which could only have come from Auntie May. I tried to speak, but my voice wavered and crackled, and the dam opened. Tears flooded down my cheeks. I couldn't do anything to calm down the tears that I wouldn't let run free when I was leaving the house. I couldn't let Peter have the satisfaction of seeing me broken. Auntie May led me to the sofa and sat me down next to Lacey. James had clearly told them what I'd said over the phone. Auntie May stroked my hair just like my mum did when I was younger, while my head lay on her shoulder and Lacey holding my hand. I felt protected and cherished as my world crumbled. When I looked around the room, it was only the three of us there. James and Uncle Mike had retreated into the other room. "I don't mean to put anyone out. I just needed somewhere to sleep tonight. I couldn't stay in the house after. Hopefully when I get back tomorrow, he will have left." "Don't be silly, my child. You are no trouble. Now tonight you're coming home with me and Uncle Mike. Then tomorrow, when you're feeling up to it, Uncle Mike will take you home. But I want you to understand that there is no pressure. You can stay at ours for as long as you want." "Thank you, Auntie." "You don't need to thank me, and you know it. I will make you a cup of tea. Drink that and sit here with Lacey while I go and round up the boys and let them know where you're staying." I did as I was told, but I didn't expect the tea to have a shot of whiskey in it. I coughed and splurted just as Auntie May left with a smile on her face. Lacey smiled. That woman is amazing. She knows exactly how to make you feel better. Although when I saw how much whiskey she put in that tea, let's just say, I think you will be sleeping well tonight. She gave a soft laugh. I want you to know, Jane, that if you need to talk to anyone, I will be here for you no matter the time, day or night. And I know James feels the same. Thank you, Lacey. I really appreciate that. Everyone came back into the room and I was passed around for hugs before Auntie May and Uncle Mike decided enough was enough and it was now time to leave. I think I was on autopilot or the whiskey was taking effect because I didn't really remember much except being helped into their car. When we got to their house, Auntie May took charge. Come on, darling. You can sleep in your old room tonight and don't you worry about a thing. Let's get you settled and I will bring you another cup of tea. I love the fact she called it my old room. I hadn't slept in that room since the night my mum died, and I didn't want to be alone. I wanted the comfort of knowing that some things were still there and I had a place to go. She bought me a cup of tea, luckily with no whiskey in it, and left me to settle in, but as soon as my head hit the pillow, I fell fast asleep. Waking up, I was disorientated. When I looked around and I saw I was in my room at my aunt and uncle's house, the events of the night before flooded back to me, and I remember seeing Peter in bed with Sarah. I felt numb. I didn't even feel angry anymore. It was a weird feeling, hard to explain. I felt empty, but not in a bad way. It was as if the stress of being in the relationship with Peter had left me. It didn't make me feel sick. When thinking about the amount of time I had tried to make things better between us, when he'd moaned about me spending too much time with other people, I'd tried to stay in more, only for him to go out with friends, but I was trying to repair our broken relationship. I got out of bed and went into the bathroom to see the fright of my life. My face was all blotchy and my eyes swollen from all the crying last night. I had just finished in the bathroom when Aunt May knocked on the door. I bought you some slices of cucumber for your eyes. I've heard that cucumber will help rehydrate them. If you lie on your bed with these popped over your eyes for the next 10 minutes while I cook us all breakfast, it should help with the swelling. She always knows exactly what a person needs. Thank you, Auntie. I love you, and I don't know what I would do without you. I love you too. Now get to it and lie down, otherwise breakfast will turn into lunch. I did exactly as she asked, and by the time I went down to the kitchen, the smell of sausages had filled the whole house. Come and sit down beside me. Now, how are you feeling? My uncle asked as he leaned over and gave me a cuddle and a kiss on my cheek. I'm not sure. I sort of feel relieved, I suppose. I know I don't feel angry anymore, so that can only be a plus. I'm going back to my house shortly to make sure they have left. I'm coming with you just in case he's still there, to see if he's left anything behind. I will be able to take his stuff to his parents' house. James has already rung this morning to check how you are and to offer his services if you need anything. Thank you. I would love you to come with me. I wasn't looking forward to going on my own. I don't want to put you both out any more than you already have been. Such rubbish. We aren't put out. In fact, we love having you stay. If only it was in better circumstances. Now eat up, you two. By the sounds of it, you have a busy day in front of you, my aunt said, before she placed the sausage sandwich in front of both of us. We didn't go round to my house until after lunch. Instead, we spent the morning chatting and laughing about what my mum would say if she was here, although it wouldn't be that different to what my Aunt May would say. Only my mum would actually say it rather than keep it to herself. After a relaxed lunch, true to his word, Uncle Mike came with me to my house. I went to unlock the door, but my hands were shaking. Uncle Mike took the keys out of my hands and entered the house, telling me that it was okay if I wanted to wait outside. The house was empty, just like I'd asked. I gingerly went into the bedroom and looked at the wardrobe. Peter's stuff was missing. I was so relieved that I didn't need to deal with him this morning. If you're interested in buying a copy, you can get it from the Book Dragon at 6 West Road, Stockton-on-Tees, or visiting their website at bookdragon.co.uk. Thank you.